Imagine looking up at the night sky, where the largest and most distant of the planets, Saturn, sits majestically in the cosmos. For centuries, humans have watched as its bright rings glow against the backdrop of the stars. From the time of the ancient Babylonians to the scientific breakthroughs of Galileo, Saturn has captured the imagination of those who dared to gaze beyond the Earth. Join us as we uncover the cosmic story of Saturn, the planet that has long been associated with time, fate, and transformation. Saturn, with its grand rings and mystery, holds an undeniable place in the cosmos. Today, thanks to modern astronomy, we see Saturn not just as a distant orb of light, but as a massive, swirling giant composed of gas and ice. Its winds whip at unimaginable speeds, and beneath those striking rings, there may even be secrets waiting to be uncovered. Let's dive deeper into Saturn's complex structure, which hides within it both beauty and power. For thousands of years, Saturn has been more than just a planet, it has been a symbol of time itself. Ancient civilizations saw it as a deity that ruled over the cycles of life, from birth to death, from joy to hardship. Its journey across the sky is slow, deliberate, and steady, reflecting the steady progression of time. In ancient Rome, Saturn was the god of harvest and prosperity, but his reign also marked the inevitability of aging and decay. From harvests to endings, Saturn teaches us to embrace the rhythms of time and the changes they bring. In Greek mythology, Saturn was known as Kronos, the god of time, who devoured his own children in fear of a prophecy. This tragic act symbolizes the destructive aspect of time, how it can consume all things, even what we cherish most. But Kronos' story also reminds us of the cyclical nature of time. What is born must eventually end, only to be reborn again. Through this myth, we see Saturn's lesson. Time moves in cycles, and we must learn to honor both its gifts and its inevitable losses. Saturn's symbolism extends far beyond ancient stories. In astrology, Saturn is often seen as a teacher, but not a kind one. It challenges us to confront our limitations, teaching lessons of discipline, responsibility, and hard work. Saturn's influence can feel heavy at times, but it's through this struggle that we grow. It pushes us to become the best version of ourselves, urging us to confront obstacles head-on and overcome them. As we look to Saturn in our birth charts, we can discover the areas of our lives that require the most effort and focus. In Vedic astrology, Saturn, known as Shani, holds a similar place of great importance. Shani is seen as a karmic lord, teaching lessons that are often harsh but ultimately transformative. Those with a strong Shani influence in their chart are believed to experience significant challenges, but these challenges bring profound growth and spiritual wisdom. Shani teaches that patience and perseverance lead to wisdom, and that hardships are simply part of the cosmic plan that we must endure in order to evolve. Saturn's return is one of the most talked about astrological events. Every 29.5 years, Saturn returns to the same point in the sky it occupied at the time of your birth, signaling a time of reflection, growth, and transformation. For many, this marks a significant life milestone, as the lessons of the past come to the forefront. What we've learned, what we've failed to learn, and what we still need to learn all come into focus. Saturn's return is not easy, but it's a time to embrace the lessons it brings, no matter how difficult. What happens when Saturn and Pluto align in the sky? This rare conjunction represents a moment of powerful transformation, both personally and globally. Saturn's discipline and structure meet Pluto's raw, transformative power. Together, they create a cosmic event that forces us to let go of the old and make space for the new. This alignment asks us, what must we shed in order to grow? What parts of our lives are ready for reinvention? Saturn's influence isn't confined to personal growth alone. It extends to the way we navigate our relationships. In astrology, Saturn represents commitment, loyalty, and responsibility, particularly in long-term partnerships. When Saturn touches your relationship houses, it tests the strength and stability of your bonds. Are you willing to put in the hard work necessary to build something lasting? Saturn's lessons in love can feel heavy, but they lead to deeper, more enduring connections. In the modern world, Saturn continues to influence us in ways we may not even realize. It teaches us to set boundaries, to structure our lives with purpose, and to recognize the wisdom in delayed gratification. Saturn rewards hard work and perseverance, but it demands that we be honest with ourselves and with others. It teaches us the power of self-discipline and the importance of respecting time's passage. In our fast-paced, instant gratification world, Saturn reminds us that all things take time. Saturn's rings are perhaps the most recognizable feature of the planet. But what do they symbolize? In the same way Saturn imposes structure and boundaries on our lives, its rings act as a cosmic metaphor for the limits we place on ourselves and the world around us. Saturn's rings are made of ice and rock, separated by empty space, each particle floating independently but forming a whole. Together, they remind us that limitations, while they may feel isolating, are also necessary for creating harmony. The journey through life is full of cycles. Just as Saturn itself completes one of the longest orbits of any planet in the solar system. This cyclical nature teaches us that nothing is permanent, not the good, nor the bad. Everything comes in phases. Understanding Saturn's influence helps us to accept both the beginning and end of these cycles. Embracing Saturn's teachings means accepting that time will pass, and that with each phase, we are offered the opportunity for growth. Saturn is not just a planet in the sky. It's a reflection of the order and structure we need in our lives. The ancient Greeks understood this when they honored Kronos as the god of time. Today, we still honor Saturn by respecting the structure and systems that govern our lives. Whether in nature, in our societies, or in our inner selves, Saturn's wisdom calls us to create order out of chaos and to build lasting foundations. What does Saturn mean for you personally? Look to the house in your birth chart where Saturn resides to understand the area of life it will influence the most. Is it in your career, your relationships, or your sense of purpose? Wherever Saturn lands, its energy brings challenges, but it also brings great rewards for those willing to put in the work and learn its lessons. Finally, Saturn reminds us that while the universe may feel vast and mysterious, we are always connected to it. Saturn's influence is felt not just in grand celestial events but in our everyday lives. Its steady, patient energy guides us to move through life with intention, knowing that every moment is part of a larger cycle. Through Saturn, we learn that time, though fleeting, can be a powerful ally in our quest for meaning.